All right. Anyway, we're gonna move on to Nanthelas versus Jyaty. This is the what is this? Bronze?
Bronze, indeed.
Nice.
And actually similar point totals. It was 18-14 for the silver finalists and 17-13 for the bronze finalists. Nanthelas with the 17, 8-1-1, Jyaty 6-3-1.
Back to find that.
Yeah, really good stuff. Nan lost to Jyaty in week 4, and that was his only loss of the season.
All right. So I think I am just about ready with picks and bans. Let me.
Yeah, no problem. And Nanthelas, someone who I think it's safe to say significantly better now at the end of the season than he was at the start. I think he's been playing a lot, absorbing a lot of information. I remember thinking of him as a pretty good player when the season started, and I think of him as a very good one now. I think he's probably improved as much as let's say almost anyone outside of Challenger
Oh
this
God.
season so far. Challenger doesn't count for any number of reasons, but on the higher divisions, Nanthelas has been among the most improved players in my opinion, and the results show that, especially in the second half of the year.
Yeah. And scary, man.
All right. I am ready with picks and bans and all of that. Nanthelas was the higher seed, so he elected to spy first and pick first. Seems a little weird to me, but some people like picking first. I guess just they like playing their maps first.
I think Kaylee likes to spy first as well, and the logic is usually that if you can sneak a spy win out, you're literally sniping for a hole already.
Yeah, I've felt like I did that for a while. I spied first for a while, but then later on, I think I found I was generally more comfortable. I like starting off with the sniper because it's just the one where I'm more comfortable generally. So.
Yeah, well, people like to strategize. It is really just about comfort, though. I think the strategy aspect's probably slightly overrated by most people.
Yeah, but I would say
whatever the reason.
But picking maps first, I find that to be an
That's
unusual option. But I don't know. I mean, I like to just like make sure. I like to like if I get to the end and Courtyard hasn't been picked, I like to pick it.
Right. All right.
Anyway, we'll see what maps they do in fact pick and not pick. Nanthelas has banned High Rise.
Well, Jyaty picked that in their first meeting, which is the one he won. So I guess Nanthelas is saying not this time.
Yeah. And Jyaty's ban is man, we're banning Gallery again. What's wrong with you people?
Well, Nan picked that their first meeting as well, so I guess that's reason enough.
Yeah, apparently. All right. Anyway, the first pick coming out of Nanthelas, a very popular map, Library.
This is Nan's most picked map this year, 6 times in 10 weeks.
I believe my most picked as well.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yep. It would have been Gallery, but Vernos banned it against me twice. So. Yep. And apparently, I guess what the stats show, Library is like among the most picked and the most banned.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's second to Courtyard in most picked, and it is your most picked map. 1 over Gallery, which you were just bemoaning a moment ago. Yep. So at least you get 1 out of your 2 favorites.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yep. And the second pick, not a surprise to see this, and actually, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see this last game, is Courtyard.
Jyaty selected it 4 times this year. Just likes it.
That's good. Yeah, it's interesting. We see Courtyard a lot, but not as doubled a lot.
Right. Yeah, especially outside of Challenger. It's more popular in Challenger, relatively speaking.
All right. Second pick out of Nanthelas. Another big map, Veranda.
That is surprising. He just picked Veranda once all season before this. Very interesting.
Just trying to mix things up. Next pick out of Jyaty is Pub.
That's his most picked map, 5 times this year.
All right. So Jyaty is being fairly consistent.
Yeah.
Well, the next pick out of Nanthelas, a very popular map, I would say, is Ballroom.
Yeah, he's picked it 3 times this year, so not a lot, but that makes sense because this is the 3rd pick. In every regular season match, you get to pick 2 maps. You get to pick 3 here, so it makes sense that he would dig a little deeper, but still pick something he's picked a few times before.
And the final pick, this is an interesting one to pick last, especially if the lower seed is Balcony.
Jyaty has not picked Balcony much from what I can see. Very interesting.
Yeah, it seems interesting to me because it's like, okay, I'm not going to go right out and say Balcony is a coin flip, but it kind of is. And like, if you're the lower seed, you generally don't want to be relying on a coin flip if you get there.
That's interesting. I don't know. I think maybe if you think you're an underdog, randomness helps you. I don't think if either of these players think of themselves as much of an underdog, though. Nanthelas probably the favorite, but Jyaty very capable of winning. What really interests me about this, though, is that if this match is close, it's going to come down to balcony, which is insane.
Yeah. Oh boy, we're gonna
Please don't be
end
close.
with balcony. My God. All right. So there's a very good chance we won't make it that far, but Nanthelas and Jyaty tends to play each other pretty tough. We'll see what happens moving forward as Nanthelas starts things out on the spy side of library with Jyaty on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, Nanthelas has played 7 games on library as spy this year, 71% win rate.
God damn!
Yeah, that's a
That's
lot.
a lot of percents.
It is a lot of percents. And Nan's spy win rate in general, 51% for the whole season. So unusually high, to say the least.
A little bit of an awkward start for Nan here. Had to chase all the way to a bust looking for that first flirt and didn't even wind up getting it. Steps into center statues afterwards to compensate.
Now, he did play Jyaty in library earlier this year, and Jyaty did shoot a civilian in one of those games.
Nanthelas ducking into a third cycle just a little bit, but Jyaty wasn't looking, so he was able to cut animation and get out of there before he was able to get caught on it. 48% on the first flirt. That hurts.
Yeah, and walks away in a huff. Leaves very quickly. You're seeing a ton of movement from Nanthelas here.
Indeed. Now stepping into an innocent conversation with nothing really to do here, so maybe he'll spend a little bit of time away from his seduction target to get the cooldown, which has already happened, or just idle a bit.
He's been moving around enough that he could afford to. Could just size the party up a little bit, decide what to do next. Could call Toby over and make that conversation a little less innocent.
If he was going to idle a bit, you'd think he'd be doing so in the conversation with his seduction target, but steps away to the window and gets a back-facing green purloin.
Oh, and I like that. Kind of follows him over to the bookshelf, so it delays the chain there again. It doesn't look like a reject, but it makes it longer. And look at that. Toby walks all the way across the map, too. This might be clean.
This is a beautiful little situation here. Seduction target is on the move, and Nanthelas trying to scope her out as best as... Where is she going?
I have no idea.
Almost got low lit, and then got high lit, and then got neutral lit. That's how weird that path was.
Yeah, very strange. Oh, goodness.
99%, ladies and gentlemen, we got there. Another close green. This one close enough to get 51% after the last 48. Nanthelas actually takes a low light somehow. This could be really, really big moving forward.
Based on the movement of the mouse afterwards, I think it was meant to be a bookmark, and then he just didn't quite correct it before moving on to other things. I'm not sure, though. And yeah, when I saw 99%, I flinched in anticipation of the noise that was going to come out of you next.
Yeah, I don't like that number very much.
It's like I say, Tobo the Romantic.
Well, now we get it done. 1 minute to play, 2 missions to get. We can just drop this book off at one of these bookcases for one easy completion, and I think that's what we're going to do just here. It is indeed. But we gotta read for at least one cycle before we set this away.
Well, Jyaty might not be watching that closely at this point, especially with a low light. We
But
always say
Nanthelas doesn't know that, though.
that's true, and he doesn't have much reason to either. And we always say that the big problem with low light sometimes is that you don't finish missions because you don't know you have them. But you can see by Nanthelas' mission progress that doesn't look like it's going to be a problem.
20 seconds left to play as we step into conversation with the double agent. Contact comes off.
in the red.
And since we're one of the lowlights, this is a first game win on the board for Nanthelas.
I don't know if he even spent a full second at that window. He just did not want this game to go on any longer. I'm actually surprised the clock was getting as low as it was, given how much he did.
I was actually kind of like, why are you even going to that window, you know?
Yeah.
If you're just gonna, like it felt like he wanted to maybe contact, but maybe he didn't want to go directly there. But he ended up doing something that's more suspicious anyway. I mean, he had a low light, so basically didn't matter. But
Indeed.
1-0 Nanthelas.
you don't want
And
to. You generally you don't play assuming you're low lit.
1-0 Nanthelas, and you're seeing now maybe why he wanted to spy first, because now Jyaty has to spy to avoid an 0-2 hole.
This is exactly the situation Nanthelas wanted when picking Spy first. Let's see how Nanthelas plays things on the sniper side and how Jyaty is able to answer. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And you don't like to read too much into character selection, but you have to notice that the map that's best for late swaps blocked with your body is being played by the largest character.
Yep, a great map for inspect swaps with a very large character who's good at blocking them. A map with a lot of walking, so compared to someone who has a very fast walking speed. A very early highlight on the center statue visit.
I was just about to say that I actually like just the swap early, late in the game. Not the inspect swap. Complete the inspects and go back, because a second or third visit even could take a little bit of heat off, and I guess that's what Jyaty's thinking too.
Well, that's the inspects done. Doesn't go for any crazy purloin shenaniganry off the end of the statue visit, but ooh, some weird pathing going on, but eventually does land at the windows for an innocent watch check.
Yeah, human pinball there for a second.
Chasing down the seduction target. She goes to statues, though, so Jyaty is not going to be able to get a flirt off. Two minutes and 40 still on the clock. Plenty of time to play with. And seduction target steps all the way back around to almost to the other end of the map. Jyaty goes for the chase, looking to pick up the first flirt with 2 minutes and 15 left to play.
Yeah, and that sentence tells you all you need to know about the progress. That's really late to be getting a first flirt in on Library.
It is a green test for 42%. Conversation was a little bit too full to get right up next to her, but 42% is respectable. And a white test on the purloin. It's right on camera. Ooh, bit of an odd situation, but he knows now. Takes the shot. And Nanthelas goes up 2-0 to open out the match.
Yep, nothing fancy. Just catch a white purloin. I really think that if you're not going to hit a green purloin, it almost needs to be the last mission, because it's just so hard to finish after that. And in this case, just made it unusually easy on him.
Absolutely. 2-0 start. Nanthelas back on the spy side. Jyaty on the sniper, looking to get himself on the board. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And here's the big question. Is Nan going to do the same thing? Play the super aggressive game? Or do you cash in on that, like I mentioned, after you get a mission win done, and play slow the next game, counting on the sniper to credit you because you've already showed them you can do it?
Well, it's an early green time ad. Jyaty notices just a few moments too late. It's a lot of highlights from it, but none of them correct.
Yeah, and that early green... Oh, look at that little camera shake, too. He's frustrated that he didn't catch it properly. If anything, he's made things worse for himself with those highlights that are, as we know, erroneous. I think this actually, an early green time ad on Library, it speaks to either something like this with fingerprints, or towards what I mentioned, not completing. Green time ad on Library, when just coincidences start piling up with the AI, very hard not to shoot.
First fingerprint done on the briefcase. It doesn't look like Jyaty really paid a whole lot of attention to it, so nonetheless, in a very, very strong situation here, off the back of a time ad, hits the second fingerprint super early on a drink. We have 3.5 minutes left to play, and we're done fingerprint.
Yeah, remember, this map starts with 4, so you basically gotten fingerprint done in 25 seconds, and the sniper has taken several erroneous highlights to distract from you in the process.
This is an amazing situation. Now he's got some time to play with. Take it. and admire a bust real quick.
Well, why not? Look at the craftsmanship on display.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, the busts are mostly of people, famous prison reformers, things like that, a reference to the map's original name, Panopticon.
Nanthelas steps in for his first flirt at 3 minutes. White test for 34%.
Some philosophers up there as well, I should add.
Interestingly enough, even though this map was designed around the idea of a panopticon, it actually plays like the opposite because you can tell where the sniper is looking at any given moment.
Yeah, it ends up being a de facto panopticon with laser latency, but yeah, the irony was certainly never lost on me, and then maybe that's one of the reasons the name changed.
Or maybe it's hard to model it as a panopticon and still make it look pretty.
Yeah,
That
who would
too.
have a fancy cocktail party at a prison?
Oh, that bug was out there, but it took, and he didn't look like he got caught on it.
Red.
Contact comes off as we step away. 2 minutes left to play. This is still looking good for Nanthelas.
And you don't want to crash into the amber after you've already bugged. I actually feel like Nanthelas has been playing very good spy, but I think that bug was actually a pretty poor decision that he just got away with.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the decision to do it because it was, again, quite out there and on camera, but it wound up working out. We've got 3 completions at this point, minute and 40 left to play as we step in for our second flirt.
And he's in really good position now. Remember, he still hasn't done inspects, so he can finish flirt, inspect, that's it. You want to do that earlier, though. You don't want to get shot for a phantom swap or a body block swap because they don't know whether or not it's happened and you're waiting too long. They might shoot out of sheer panic. I would go now and then finish the flirt.
Green test on the second flirt, so we're at 82%. It is technically possible to not finish on the next flirt, but you would have to be trying real hard.
Yeah, you would have to be deliberately not trying to complete flirt. And nonetheless, doing things certainly in the order I was mentioning. Had a little trouble with the pathing there, but finds their way into center statue anyway.
There's the 4th completion. 1 more flirt is all it will take. Cooldown has expired. We step back into conversation. This is plenty close enough to finish this off.
And in both of these games, Nan has wasted very little time doing the next thing. Very often you'll see someone go to like a window pad, especially on library, where there's so many places where you can go and game plan and decide what you're going to do next. Nan has basically not done that really at all. It's always been bouncing to the next thing immediately.
Last flirt on the table. Jyaty has nothing to shoot for, and Nanthelas starts the match off with 3.
So already going to win library, and you're sniping for a sweep. And you've played the same kind of spy game twice, actually, and you haven't gotten caught for it. Now, granted, I don't know if you're going to get away with it anywhere other than library, but Nan's certainly playing library the correct way on this day against this opponent.
The bug wasn't pretty. That's really the only thing bad I can say about that particular game of Spy Party.
That's what Jyaty had to catch.
You don't need pretty bugs on library.
Well,
the reason on camera.
Yeah, so the reason you don't normally need pretty bugs on library is because they're not visible most of the time. In this case, somehow on camera, not seen, could be one of those things where the eyes are somewhere other than where the cursor was. But I think those are the ones you have to catch.
Eye lag rather than laser lag.
Yeah, could be it. Could be it.
Or brain lag.
Either way, Jyaty needs to find a way to get on the board against Nanthelas here, or this is going to be another swift set. Nanthelas on the sniper, as you were saying, playing for a sweep. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not able to start things off with the seduction target because seduction target is moving too much, but does find a conversation with the double agent to get ready for an early contact. Lots and lots of people outside of conversation, though, as we do hit the contact anyways. 2 early statue highlights get low lit. 4 total. 5 total.
A little bit of a pad problem there, but off camera.
Indeed. Pair of inspects at the side statues as well. That's a lot of lowlights to open the game with. And a highlight to boot.
Yeah, for just a side statue. And still no flirts. And oh boy, more problems entering conversations and hitting pads. They're adding up.
Traffic jam this time. Toby was not being friendly.
Yeah, although you could see that was going to be a logjam. That was a risky area to enter at that moment.
Jyaty not trying to do any flirtation business early on, is heading all the way down to the other end to the statues to finish up the inspects.
And Jyaty has a very clear sense of forward progression in this game that we didn't see when they were taffed last time. And you see that time, waited for it to clear out before walking, maybe had enough of this collision business.
Absolutely. Now finally has a moment to spare, steps into conversation here for the first flirt.
And we mentioned that last game, you said first flirt with around 2:15 on the clock, I think it was. And I mentioned that was a very long time to wait for your first flirt on library. About the same thing here.
Absolutely. We don't have a whole lot else to show for it. It's a white test for 34% and not a lot of progress, just the inspects.
He has been keeping busy, though. You can see he's not hanging out too long. The problem is the party's not really lining up for him. So he goes to do something, and it's not there, and then he has to decide to do something else. It kind of keeps happening. This is a little late to be starting Fingerprint, especially with Flirt only a third of the way done. And putting the book back in yellow, look at that. Wow. Completes the mission. Little quick on the leave, though. That's the kind of thing Nan will get you for, and he does. Nan has seen a big uptick in etiquette-related skills this season. And, boy, absolutely nails him there.
Was that etiquette, or was it he remembered the book? That's a good.
Well, it could be either one, but
Or it could
here's
be
the
both,
thing.
in fact.
In fact, I think there is a decent chance it is. It's one of those things where if you're not sure where the book came from, maybe you're suspicious, so you're going to pay more attention to something like that. I actually think Jyaty had a better game plan that time. There was a lot of senses, I mentioned, of forward progression, of moving from mission site to mission site. But in this case, Nanthelas just too good. Nanthelas actually had the highest sniper win rate of anyone in SCL last season, I believe it was. Or no, was it second behind Urand, actually. Sorry, they were like 1 and 2, I think it was. 88 and 85% respectively. So 85 is ridiculous. That's higher than Kaylee had in Diamond. Granted, against a different caliber of spy in general, but still very strong. You just can't get away with much against Nanthelas.
Be the case, as he has swept first map.
Yeah, that's really something. Nanthelas up 4-0 on this pick. And remember, Nanthelas the higher seed here, so only needs 8 to take the championship. Jyaty's back is against the proverbial wall.
All right. Guess Tobo's having some technical difficulties. I guess I can
take over for a few
minutes.
minutes.
I'll take over for a few minutes as he sorts things out. I guess I shall count it down. Let's see. Yep, I got everything ready. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Look, I don't need any good excuse to talk more. I have no problem with this. He'll be back with us soon, I'm sure.
You have any? Yeah. You have any more strats in your big book of SCL strats? I mean,
nothing. Nothing I'm going to share with you guys.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Especially not me, huh?
No. Yeah, for those who don't know, Kletos recently won platinum and is bumping up to diamond. I can't tell you anything, buddy.
Yeah.
I can't do that. You're my enemy now.
Yeah. I mean, I kept running away from you, and then.
Yeah, we've been dodging each other, but it might finally happen now. Nonetheless, starting off doing nothing, actually.
Yeah, I was waiting for something to actually talk about game related. He did nothing, and he still managed to get a highlight.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. Maybe for a quick window leave, although, again, I'm just kind of weirdly fixated on those. Nonetheless, on Spy this year on Courtyard, 55% win rate in 11 games. That's really good for a sniper-favored map like this.
When he moved to pick up that briefcase, I don't know if he needed to do that.
I'm not sure, but it was almost entirely off camera. Jyaty was looking at the guest list pretty closely when it finally happened. I always find it interesting when someone pays a lot of attention to the guest list on Courtyard, because from my perspective, maybe I snipe differently than some of the people we've been casting, but from my perspective, Bug is the thing you need to watch, and Purloin is the thing you can kind of watch with half the attention you would normally give it because it's so easy to see.
Yeah,
if you're going to
I would
your
agree.
attention. Yeah, so it's interesting to see Jyaty specifically zooming in, looking for the list on Courtyard of all places. Maybe just expecting that it's something Nan's going to do, possibly studied some tendencies earlier in the year.
I think we're going to see oh, no, I was going to say a timer foot here, but nope. Nanthelas is interested in actually finishing a mission. Missed a pad a little bit. Luckily, it was off screen.
Yeah, Nanthelas has been off screen a lot this game for whatever reason. I think maybe Jyaty's just really focusing on some of these other hardtail mission sites, and maybe Nanthelas is aware of it.
Right. Ooh, we got a fingerprint on there as well. Ooh, it was a hard fingerprint, and he got it.
And now he's in great shape. Now, you're still a little worried about time. You're probably going to need to green this flirt. And if you don't green it right away, you still have time to get a time ad in before the beeps start.
Well, he's going to need to flirt, and then he's going to need to beep up. Not a red flirt.
Yeah, no, the reason I mentioned the flirt and then the time ad is that you want to see if it's going to take, because if it's going to take, then you go BB and you're done. If it doesn't take, you know you're going to have to time ad, but
Ooh, he
it
gets
looks like
neutral it, though.
That helps a little bit. You're still going to be banking on a green here late with the flirt, unless you're going to rush a bug or something.
And the end of red.
Let's see how Jyaty reacts to this. Not at all, as everybody is in a conversation.
Thinking about Taft.
Ooh.
Here comes the time ad, I guess.
Too late.
Failed bug. Wow. What's interesting about that is that, well, first of all, you get the flirt done, you make a little more progress there, and you win the game, absolutely. Because we saw the safety go off with two different characters, Taft and Queen. Neither of them the spy, by the way. Also, if you do things a little earlier, if you force overtime in any sense, it seems really likely that a civilian would have gotten shot there. So if you are Nanthelas, you have lost your first game, but you were incredibly close to winning it.
Yeah.
Jyaty really lucks
it was
out there.
it's like you say, a lot of times, it's like if sometimes a sniper win is won on the sniper, and this one seems like it was lost as the spy.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Jyaty actually was probably not tracking the fingerprints very well, and obviously the top two suspects just wrong. And on Courtyard of all places, that's not great. So if you're Nan, you have won 2 spy games, and you really kind of probably should have won the third. Jyaty just has no answer for this spy right now, but gets the much-needed win anyway.
All right, so hopefully my technical issues are resolved.
All right,
and
yep, you sound good, and we are on the second Courtyard game.
Perfect. Currently 4-1. Still Nanthelas' favor. Jyaty has some coming back to do, but even if that's not how you wanted to start it, it's still a start as Jyaty steps into the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Any way you were going to come back from 4-0 would eventually start with 4-1, so it's what you had to do. And I think you coined the phrase comebackinating when you cast that match against Kaylee, was it? Yeah, so
I don't remember.
I remember it. I'll probably remember it the rest of my life. We're looking for some comebackinating right now from Jyaty.
And it's starting things out with an early green swap off the top?
We have talked about this before. Early white swaps, very defensible. Early green swaps, almost never on Courtyard.
Oh boy, this is a difficult situation to play with.
Ooh, but a highlight is going to pick it up from who just coming from the other statue, I believe.
51% on the flirt and immediately runs away from it, goes to the other side as fast as possible, sees the swap has occurred at this point.
Oh, the rotate. It was behind her head when it happened. It happened near the end of the inspect cycle. Wow. And a Purloin comes off in the meantime.
Oh my god, the rush! This has happened so fast! Nanthelas rotating around, looks like he's looking for Jyaty. No, he's not, he doesn't know! And somehow Jyaty, with one of the faster games on Courtyard that I have ever seen.
Well, we've been complaining all year about the standard Courtyard game, and when we complain about the standard Courtyard game, usually what it means is, with about 1:15 on the clock, 2 or 3 of the softails are done. In this case, 1:49 on the clock, 4 missions done, including 2 hardtails. Please, please, please look back at the sniper cam when that swap goes off. For those who don't know, the green swap is swapped by the next person to pick it up. Someone gets pulled over after a while, and it has to swap It swaps very quickly. That's the difference between a white and a green. A white is a fade, as green is a pop. It's almost instantaneous. But it has to happen during their first inspect cycle. This happened very late at the end of the inspect cycle. So late that that Nanthelas kind of moved on and thought it wasn't going to happen. So when it popped, it was behind Pearls' head and body. It's just like he came over the other side, did that little, like that hand wipe effect, right? Where you wipe your hand and you're either smiling or not, right? It was like that. It's like he turns his camera and the statue's different, happening completely off screen. I think he'd given up on the idea of a swap because it didn't happen in the first 90% of the inspect cycle. Wow.
And then after that, there's something that back in the day I used to call the science factor in SCL Season 1, where you use the confusion from a hard tell to get away with another hard tell.
Scientist, yeah. Scientists used to do it a lot. Before him, it was turnout. We can rename it every so often. We need someone, whoever's doing it the most. But it's sort of a waterfall effect. You do a hard tell, they react to it. While they're reacting to it, you do the next one. You do it 2 or 3 times in a row, and then they only have 5 or 6 seconds at the end to decide if it was you. In this case, I think probably, though, aided by the fact that that swap came so late on the inspect cycle. I think if it happens at a normal time, I think Nan wins that game. I really do.
Absolutely. And Jyaty, that is going to feel good. And now you're on the sniper side of Courtyard. This is a good place to be as Nanthelas steps into the spiral. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And a couple complications with Pearls that last game, too, I think was at the other statue as well, and also at an adjacent statue. And when that sort of thing starts to happen, it's just easy to get those statue visitors mixed up, especially early in a game when you're not expecting a green swap. Once again, we see a very atypical swap that might not be a good idea in a vacuum work out beautifully for the Spy. Second time tonight.
Nanthelas starts things out with 51% on the flirt and gets highlight. Wow.
I don't know if that's a flirt pair or not. Very interesting. Is that something Jyaty would do?
Two minutes and 15 still to play. Game is very young yet.
And remember, Nan has played 3 Spy games, won 2, and probably should have won the 3rd. So Jyaty has yet to really get Nan as sniper.
Well, Courtyard is definitely a good place to do it, although Nan has now been bumped back down to neutral suspicion as he steps into statues for the next flirt.
Nan seems to be paying a lot of attention to the laser rotation because he's almost always doing things and moving when he's off screen. It's happening an awful lot, so much so that I have to believe it's deliberate.
White test brings us up to 85%, a pair of inspects while we're there, and looks like he's staring down either the selection target or the double agent. Winds up just going to windows while he's figuring out where the selection target's headed. Yeah, Nanthelas really wants to get this seduce done, but where it looked like the selection target was in conversation was actually just out at the window, and now it's a white purloin, and that's a bullet. Ladies and gentlemen, Jyaty, after losing the first 4, comes back with the next 3.
That's really big. Obviously, it's still just a sniper game, so you are just holding serve, but any version of this where you come back involves you getting those much-needed sniper wins. And in this case, as I mentioned, sort of the first time he's really been on Nan.
Yeah, that was very much the sniper game Jyaty wanted to get. Now he's back on the spy side with Nanthelas on the sniper. And Nanthelas knows he's got to be a little bit careful here after what happened last game. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, very big deal now. Jyaty in a position to tie it after that start. Got a little bit of luck, but also made the most of it, and just sheer aggression, which is sort of its own justification sometimes as Spy.
Absolutely. Jyaty starts things out with a briefcase fingerprint. Early progress on a mission that quite often doesn't get done on this map. So being able to count on the fingerprint late in the game where you only need to get 1 can be very, very helpful moving forward. After that, steps into conversation with the seduction target and picks up a nice close green flirt for 51%.
And what I always want to see here is, do they wait for the timer flirt? Do they go do something else? And in this case, the seduction target sort of makes the choice for them. And the Amba is at a statue, and we don't have our
Banana bread.
inspects done yet. Good luck resisting this, Jyaty.
Contact comes off. Couple of lowlights. One of them was highlight. 3 total, I think, which is not too bad.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I just can't imagine how Jyaty's going to resist this statue right now. The question is, how long will they wait?
Second flirt comes off, 68% at a distance on a white flirt. Still in 3 flirt range thanks to the early 51%. Ambassador putting his hands on more stuff.
Great. That's what you want when you're going to finish Fingerprint. You want more of them floating out there to distract and more people who could be done with it.
Absolutely. 1 minute and 15 left to play. We've got the contact done. We've got 2 flirts. We've got a fingerprint. We've got a couple of fingerprints hot on statues. And now we're going to take one to finish up both the fingerprint and the inspect right here.
Yeah, left on the left side and right on the right from the perspective of the man on top of it, Alan Turing.
Fingerprint is done. Highlight is taken. Inspects get finished up. We need one more close flirt with 45 seconds to play. This is a good position to be in.
It's more than a good position. If they were tracking Fingerprint effectively, there's no reason to think they're not done there. You don't have to know they're not done with the flirt with 30 seconds left. So the fact that Jyaty isn't shot means they're almost certainly going to win.
But the seduction target steps away. We have to chase late in the game. That could be the tell that Nanthelas needs, but he's not on camera when it happens. There's the talk. He's thinking about it. Safety off. He doesn't take the shot.
Oh my goodness. He had him.
He doesn't take the shot. He had it. Jyaty comes off with a win by the skin of his teeth, and we're tied at 4.
That hurts. I actually think it's mostly to Nan's credit that he even considered the shot. That's just such a hard shot to take. You're right. It does look like a chase, but that's such a flimsy thing to shoot for when you haven't seen a hard tell.
Yeah, you're just like, wait a second. I'm not a behavioralist.
I'm not a behaved well. Yeah, definitely a bit of a hybrid. But here's the thing. If you're not already on the fingerprint, how do you shoot for that? If you were on the fingerprint, you could not possibly be confident that flirt wasn't done. So the fact that the shot didn't come off then means it's just so hard to take the shot after because you would be shooting for those types of reasons. So maybe it's one of those things where you see one print and you're not sure how much you want to credit the other. That's a very common thing. I say that a lot. Sometimes if you notice one print for sure and someone is acting very spy-like, you might say, I assume there was another print I missed, or maybe they hit a difficult. But Nan, I actually think Nan deserves a lot of credit for even considering that shot there, having already missed at least one fingerprint.
So they've swept their own maps so far.
Wow.
This is true.
And that means they are, in fact, tied.
Yeah.
Good grief.
My God, what a set this is so far, and we're still just getting started. It's 4-4. Halfway there. Let's see how Nanthelas plays things moving forward, starting things out on the spy side of Veranda. Any 5 of 8. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And they both selected their maps very well, apparently.
Apparently, good God.
Apparently they know what they're good on. And the difference, though, right now between 4-4 and 5-3 for Nan on that almost shot last game is pretty huge. Remember, a tie is still a win for Nan, but now you have no more margin.
Starting things out with 34% on the flirt. In the usual location, over on the carpet by the red bookcase.
Nan only played 1 game as spy on Veranda this year and did not win it.
That's not a lot of Veranda.
No, it's not. The least picked map in SCL this season, by the way. A lot of people not getting in a lot of Veranda. That game was against Arturiax, though, way back in May.
Not able to get in conversation with the seduction target there. Has to repath at the last moment and picks the window.
So if you're Nan, you're probably going to feel really bad that you didn't take that shot. The game's so close.
Bug, do it, please. Nope, too late.
Nope, not going to happen. If you're Nan, you feel bad, certainly, that you almost took a very good shot and didn't quite, that you miscounted fingerprints potentially. But more than that, you have to combine that frustration with the frustration of blowing a 4-0 lead. So if you're Nan,
Absolutely.
you have got to keep it together here. You have so many reasons to let it fall apart, and you need to hold it together.
Stepping into the statues for the first set of inspects. Might be able to get away without even being seen there, and it looks like that's exactly what's happened. Just seen stepping away. Possible flirt at the windows. I don't know if she's going to hang around, and she doesn't.
And I'm trying to double check this now, but I think this might be Jyaty's first veranda game as sniper all season.
Wow. Wow.
That could be a problem if you're not comfortable with it. You don't have to play it a lot, but you got to play it sometimes because it doesn't quite feel like any other map right now.
Well, Nan's probably not that comfortable either.
Yeah, probably not. Best way I can describe veranda is it's halfway between gallery and library.
Reasonable amount of progress, but with only 1:45 to play, Nanthelas is very much behind the curve. He steps into statues once more to finish up his first mission.
Tried to bug on the way, by the way. Did not take, but probably also wasn't seen.
Gets highlight for statues, but as far as Jyaty is concerned, that's the first visit. That's a green swap coming away as well.
Well, Nan's thinking aggression has been working for me all night. Let's get right back to it.
Absolutely. Need a little bit of that aggression coming in at the end here as we step into statues yet again. Unfortunately, Jyaty thinks it's the second visit as the Seek gets that statue swapped.
And
I think Jyaty sees it now?
if he's confident, here come
Yep.
the lowlights are going to come off. Yep. This is the downside of even a good swap against someone who highlights for statues, which is most snipers, is that even if they miss it, even if they're not sure, they can lowlight everyone who doesn't have a highlight.
Indeed.
That's the fail-safe. It's not just for tracking inspects. It's a fail-safe against swaps. Even if you miss them, you get it really narrowed down.
And the shot comes off before even the contact can happen. You can tell it was down to just 2.
Yep.
And that early talk was enough confirmation for Jyaty to take the shot. Man, that's 5 in a row.
Seems like kind of a risky shot still.
A little bit, but I think at that point I think what happened is the timing makes it look riskier than it is because you're thinking, why shoot so long after the swap? I think it was one of those situations where once he got the lowlights down, he sort of just thought about it more. Who was there before? Is it definitely him? And then shoots. Also, he did pass by the
did he see the fade of the swap?
Didn't look
No,
like.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
But he
that's
did. Well, so right before he shoots, it looks like the ambassador sort of walks by the general area. And he might have just said, look, I'm going to literally, the moment he does anything that could be a mission, a talk, a walk by the Amba, because he was talking there, I believe, before the banana bread went off at least.
Yeah.
That might have been it. It might have been next action is the bullet. I think we've seen a lot of aggressive swaps work recently on a lot of these casts. And every time we're amazed, we talk about how counterintuitive they are. That's why they're counterintuitive. That's what usually happens.
Yeah.
That's the normal result of an aggressive
Yeah,
swap.
that is normally what happens.
Yeah,
Just
we've seen a lot of
ask
exceptions.
Crazy Kaylee.
The exceptions that prove the rule, certainly.
Absolutely.
All right, anyway, that's the first time a player has won on an opponent's map, so...
Yeah. Well, Nanthelas is going to see if he can keep things tied up. Really needs to shut down Jyaty's momentum here because Nanthelas can't be feeling very good about things as is, but now he's got the sniper side. Let's see if he can capitalize in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, you're not really behind until you've lost the other side of it.
Indeed. Jyaty starting things out at this little tucked away window by the blue bookcase.
It's a popular time ad spot.
Made famous by one KCM in the Diamond Finals of last season's SCL. Jyaty not trying anything crazy like that, just steps into statues for 1 cycle and 1 inspect.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil that, but go find that VOD and see what we're talking about.
I freaked the hell out.
Yeah, one of the better moments we've ever cast.
Jyaty stepping into conversation with the seduction target here, being very polite about it, too.
Yeah, you can be a little pushy here. It's veranda. There's a lot of cover, and you are a spy.
white test on the first flirt brings the seduction target up to 34%. Relatively slow game from Jyaty so far.
Yeah, I feel like we're watching the silver finals again here. Although, to give them credit, they both were hauling it on Veranda at least.
Indeed. Second statue visit. Didn't get highlight for the first one.
And that is huge, because when that happens, you're going to be waiting. If you're suspicious of them, you're going to be waiting the whole rest of the game for that second statue visit confirmation. And if you don't get it, it can swing the outcome.
Absolutely. Inspects are done, but Nanthelas doesn't know it. Getting ready to step in for the second flirt here.
It's really hard to overstate how important it is to basically get a free inspect on Veranda. It's huge.
Yeah.
The second statue visit kind of meta is such a huge part of how spies and snipers think.
Cane side bug coming across after the second flirt. Very nice little thing. Little bit of an unusual path there, but not something you're going to get caught for unless Nanthelas was really looking for it. In this case, it doesn't look like he was. Flirt is up to 85% now, and we've got a green book in hand to boot.
I think he might have. His angle was unusual, but it still looked like he was trying to keep that in view without looking like he was in view. Always hard to tell, but I think there's a decent chance he was being cagey with that angle. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Indeed we will. Jyaty sort of dancing around a little bit with this book. Now taking it back into red bookcase. Nanthelas on the other side now sees it. Do we get a shot? Doesn't look like we do.
Well, he hasn't heard of banana bread, and as far as he's concerned, he's only been to statues once, so why
This is
shoot
true.
now?
1 minute to play. One more flirt and one more mission.
Still hasn't been tested yet. The banana bread's a pretty big test.
Indeed it is. Although, seeing you put a book back in the wrong place seems like a pretty good confirmation.
If he thinks it happened, yeah. Always hard to tell.
Well, as you were saying, we'll find out soon enough. 30 seconds left to play. Jyaty's got to do something and fast. Stepping in for his seduction target here. Finish that mission up. 25 seconds. Here comes the double agent. With the briefcase, where's she going to go?
She's got to get back in if he's going to have a chance.
It's not good.
You can flirt almost anywhere, but you can only banana bread in conversation. That's why you do that earlier in the game, generally.
And I think this is going to be a timeout unless Jyaty tries something crazy.
Rush Purloin is all he can do.
Here it is. There's the rush purloin. Oh my god! He was looking at the wrong person. He was zoomed in, safety off, ready to take the shot. Didn't even notice a purloin happened by the time he pulled the trigger.
And I don't know if it would have mattered. Look at this. Here's the overtime. He's basically crediting Salmon with a fingerprint. That's what it is. He thinks Salmon is completing fingerprint right there at the end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was a scary game. But
Well-
Jyaty keeps the streak going. Nanthelas starts things off 4-0, finds himself down 4-6 all of a sudden.
Well, I probably read too much into that camera angle. Clearly did not see the bug. I think, though, that statue highlight, that could have been a big part of the game there. You got to imagine that if he'd seen a second statue visit out of Papa Danger, he's watching him a lot closer by the end, and then a white purloin in the face, you're usually going to catch that.
Keep in mind, Nanthelas is the top seed here, so Nan only has to get to 8. This is still very doable for him. You could say at this point that even though it's 4-6, all he needs is one set, and he's got to win here.
Yeah, he needs to go 4-2 to win, which is not unheard of, especially when he went 4-0 earlier in the very match.
Absolutely. Now we head into the pub. It's going to be Evan 4 of 7 with a few extra guests. Nanthelas starting things off on the spy side. Really gunning for a win here as Jyaty picks up the rifle in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The real rough part here now is that even if Jyaty sweeps, we're going to see at least one balcony game.
This is true.
I kid. I've come around on balcony quite a bit this year.
We've seen some actually really interesting balcony games in the SCL.
Yeah, most people don't play balcony with an especially large amount of depth, but you can. It can happen if both players are in the right mindset.
Absolutely. Nonetheless,
You're
with a
talking
little
about
bit
Mind
of a
Party, obviously.
yes.
And a whole lot of other balcony games for that matter. Yeah, you can play casual, goofy balcony. You can play really simplistic coin flippy balcony if you want, but you can also play some really deep strategic balcony.
Look at how slow a start this is from Nanthelas.
Yeah, this is actually again like the silver finals. It shows you that it's less about the players and more about the pub.
Already a minute gone, and all the progress we've made so far is a delegate. Haven't even sent anyone to the bar yet. We've just gotten the delegate.
We said
So
earlier,
all of this progress could be gone.
yeah, whatever progress there is totally ephemeral. It might vanish. We mentioned earlier that Wodar needed a sweep, and it was a shame he didn't have a map like Balcony where it made more sense. He was stuck somewhere like Pub where it's much harder to win both. I think it was Terrace in that case. That's where Nan is right now. You really need to sweep a set, and it's just going to be really hard to win 2 Pub games. Pub's what you want to play when you already have a lead.
Close green test flirt for 51%. Sends Papa Danger to the bar to do that purloin with a good amount of time left remaining. There's the purloin coming off. Has Jyaty noticed? It doesn't look like he has. No reaction yet.
There's just not enough party activities. Too few statue visitors, and he hasn't heard Banana Bread yet. I think it's going to be hard to frame someone this game. This is Pub, man. Pub,
Yeah.
56% sniper win rates in all of SCL, and in this division in particular, in bronze, 67%. That's 2 out of 3 for the sniper.
Well, we've got the hardtail done. We've gotten a highlight for some reason. Probably something to do with the purloin.
Yeah, based on the highlights here, I think it's pretty well narrowed down, but I think Jyaty's actually in a really good position to force a timeout here.
But he doesn't know it now that the purloin has been shown. It's going to be hard not for Jyaty to not take a shot here. Second flirt comes off to 85%, 1 minute left to play. I don't know how we finish missions, but Jyaty, yes, not a whole lot has been done, but we've seen the purloin. We've seen a couple people go to statues. How do you not take a shot? Fake BB coming off.
That's why, Banana Bread.
Banana bread.
There's the contact. It's not a real one, but it's enough, probably.
2 other highlights in with an SDA. That's Papa Danger and Queen, and still no one shot, though. I think he's just confident.
Oh! Safety off on Papa Danger.
Oh, this is close.
The purloin victim. 20 seconds. Does he talk?
If he talks, it really looks like he wants to shoot him if he talks.
Nanthelas gets the flirt done, stepping into statues.
Inspect
No
swap
talking
again.
time from Papa Danger, so Papa Danger's not going to take a bullet. Here's the inspect. Here's the swap. Here's the overtime. And oh, it's a green swap.
It's a green. I don't see how this is going to work, though. I just don't see how it's going to work.
Yeah, this is hard. This is
A
really
low light
hard.
is going to pick it up.
This is bad.
But Queen has got the briefcase. Could he think that's a
Oh
fingerprint? here at the
no!
end?
No, it's not. He knows what's going on. Here's the shot coming off. Nanthelas trying to dance in the back, but it's not enough. Jyaty keeps it going to 7.
Yeah, that was not the best dancing. You gotta be in and among AI. I mean, this is not a great map to be dancing on.
I
for sure.
think it's about as good as most of the dancing you're going to see in bars.
That might be accurate.
Well
A little
played.
too much to drink for Irish. Befitting her nickname,
Yeah.
Irish has a little too much in the bar and starts dancing ill-advisedly.
7 straight games.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, one thing that I probably would have done. Maybe Nanthelas just hoping he got away with that, but I would have probably ran to that conversation with the DA and BB before swap happened.
Well, a lot of things they could have done. Most of them involving not waiting till the last second. There, but here's
Yeah,
the thing.
he spent a lot of time sort of hanging out.
But here's the thing. You want to judge process more than outcomes, right?
Yep.
So because you can play the right way as Spy and put yourself in a really good position to win, especially because Spies don't win that often. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. And I think that's the case here. I think Nanthelas kind of played the right game. because when you look at that replay, if Nanthelas looked at it afterwards, they're going to see that Jyaty very, very nearly almost shot someone else.
I mean, the interesting question would be if he got. Actually, no, I was gonna say if he got a white swap, would he have shot Papa Danger?
Yeah, I don't know.
But Papa Danger did not talk right in those last 10 seconds, unfortunately. Like
Right,
if Papa Danger had talked within the last 10 seconds,
maybe,
and then the overtime
Yeah.
happened, I feel like Papa Danger might have taken a shot.
Except there would have been a pending first, so it had been a white, and Papa Danger would have to talk, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't much comfort if you're Nanthelas because you've just dropped 7 in a row. But if you can keep a clear head about it, you can say, I actually played a pretty good game and it almost worked.
I've just dropped 7 games in a row. Of course, that's not comfort. Either way, Jyaty on the spy side, Nanthelas on the sniper.
Nanthelas can only lose one more game.
And you really don't want it to be this one.
He can lose 2. He wins the tiebreaker, so he can lose one more game and he has to take the other.
That's what I mean. He can only.
Right. Correct. I gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Nanthelas on the sniper. Back against the wall in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Good grief. And so I mentioned, obviously not much comfort, as you say, but that happened earlier too. Nanthelas played a courtyard game that they probably should have won. Right now, that's the difference between basically being in a position to take home the whole division and fighting for your life.
That's just a swap. Yep, okay, we got there. We're on the board. We're back.
Right. Okay, fair enough. They both did it. They both wanted to make sure the in-your-face swaps weren't a good strategy. They each had to take one.
Maybe a little too in your face.
A little too in your face. A little too emboldened by 7 straight wins there.
Yeah.
Maybe got a little comfortable. I don't know.
I could just win by doing anything.
Aggressive moves. They always seem smart when they work, and they always seem crazy when they don't. And this time it didn't work.
Well, all right.
All right. 7-5. Nanthelas still just down the 1 set. This is still very doable after a 4-0 start. You may have dropped 7 games in a row, but you're still only 1 set down. Nanthelas on the spy side of Ballroom. This is a pretty good place to make it happen. Let's see what Nanthelas does here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Actually, 2 of the better maps if you need a comeback. Ballroom and Balcony. This is an ideal scenario if you're not in an ideal scenario.
I'll take it. 34% on the first flirt there. Nice, basic, standard start.
And Nanthelas has only played Ballroom twice this year as Spy. Did not win either.
Well, that can't be comforting.
No, one a timeout, one a spy shot, but neither were against Jyaty.
Just hanging out, looking for a timer flirt, it would seem right now. Cooldown has just happened. Here comes the flirt. It is another white test. 68%, and getting a fingerprint off the drink as well.
And if I'm reading this right, I think Jyaty might be 0-3 on Ballroom as Sniper this year with 3 mission wins. Wow.
Wow.
I better confirm that. That stat seems too crazy to be true. 2 of them, I believe, to Catnip. And if Nan did his homework, he'll be trying to complete missions.
Absolutely. Well, he's got a good start of it. 2 early flirts and a fingerprint. Now stepping into conversation with the double agent. All set up for a contact here. There's the contact. It is a white test.
Banana bread.
Contact comes off. Only 2 lowlights, I believe, available. Teal dress and the queen. Neither of which have been taken. Oh, now they go. So 1 completion, 68% on the flirt, getting ready to finish it up here, but at a bit of a distance, so we're going to need a green test.
And yeah, I've confirmed it. 0-3 on Ballroom, all mission win. Boy,
wow.
That's something. And Nanthelas has been no slouch with spy activity has been completing missions pretty steadily. So this looks like a dream scenario. Again, if you're in a bad scenario, this gives you a better than usual chance right now to come back.
Hit the green flirt he needed, so that's a second completion as we step into center statues here. Staring down the ambassador, just waiting for him to put his hands on something.
He's still got plenty of time for it, and he's got options if it doesn't work. Things he can rush late. You can always do a purloin on ballroom and give them only, maybe 5 to 6 seconds to determine who to shoot when they finally get a look at the fade.
Few green tests get Nanthelas done with the inspects in plenty of time. Stepping into the windows here. 20 seconds to play.
Nothing with the amber yet, and now he's got to make a decision soon. It's probably going to have to be a purloin, I think.
It is indeed going to be a purloin.
Right at windows.
10 seconds. It's right at 10 seconds. It's not going to be overtime.
He's thinking about it. He's lining up the shot. He just saw it. He's lining
it up. Safety off. But no shot comes through. And Jyaty has found 3 match points.
He zooms in and sees that the list is gone for sure with about 3 seconds left and immediately tries to shoot Duke and just can't line up the shot quick enough. That was the difference. That's why purloin as a final mission on ballroom is so powerful. Sometimes, even if they see it quick, they have to make a decision in 6 or 7 seconds.
And that was like the riskiest possible spot to do a purloin.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Depending on the sniper angle on the right, sometimes on the right you can get a really good angle.
I mean, it was a little bit covered by the column, but...
Yeah. So the fact that he sees it with 3 seconds, you basically have no time at all to make that decision. Now, when you look at the actual whole 10-second period, though, there are a couple times where you can sort of see it. It's just not a clear look, and Jyaty just doesn't want to take a shot without a clear look, and that is the difference.
Absolutely.
And that is another mission win. That is Jyaty, 4 sniper games on ballroom this year, 4 spy mission wins.
Wow.
That I think if you want to practice in the offseason, you know where to start.
All right, well, Nanthelas is back to within 1 point.
Actually, no. I think that was Jyaty's win, wasn't it?
No, it was Nanthelas, right?
Oh, well, I got that wrong.
Yep, you got that wrong. Yep. Yeah, Nanthelas was spy, and he did not get shot there.
Yep.
Right. I feel silly.
Yes,
6
within
to
1.
7.
So within 1, 6 to 7. Things are getting interesting here.
Back within 1. Jyaty on the spy side. Nanthelas playing to finally tie this up. Let's see what happens in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
And Jyaty as spy on ballroom, 0-3 this year. So ballroom really brutally tough for Jyaty this season. On both roles.
Jyaty wanted to start things out with the flirt, but seduction target steps away. And now we're stuck at the blue bookcase with nothing to do, except maybe try some animation transfer shenaniganry, but it's a dangerous proposition. Hair is not bad at it because it's not as easy to notice the head turn. But doesn't go for any of that craziness and just puts it back and steps into side statues for a fingerprint. For a fingerprint? What is... Man, the ambassador is having fun with the statues.
Yeah. Moving around a lot. Same ambassador as last game, too.
Yeah. We've got the other statue with a fingerprint hot on it as well. Doesn't want to go statue to statue, though. That's a little bit too in your face.
2 side statues, though, to complete inspects and fingerprint. Kind of tempting.
White purloin. That's bad.
Good
He's
luck
looking
with that.
for it. Sees it now.
Might want to wait for the gulp.
This looks like bullets. It hasn't happened yet, but it looks like bullets.
Nan is just going to wait it out. There's no reason not to wait a little bit longer, but there's no way they win this game now.
Oh, yeah, that's a difficult fingerprint. Doesn't hit it.
Yeah, doesn't even
bullets.
care. Doesn't even care.
And that is not how you that is not how you briefcase return.
No, it's really not.
You
That's not how
gotta
you
you gotta
allow
at least
things.
walk a bit closer to the ambassador there.
So I understand. I mean, you could definitely defend the cheese briefcase where you put it down so quick that you hope they don't even notice. But you got to pick a moment where they're otherwise distracted, or how about a moment where they're not already staring at you?
Yeah, not a moment where you're being laser burned.
Right.
Or, purloined.
So here we go into balcony, tied 7-7. Jyaty, by the way, is going to finish this season one way or the other, 0-8 on ballroom.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty brutal. Pretty crazy there. And now, if you are Nan, you need just one coin flip out of two flips of the coin.
This is what I was saying at the start. You don't want a coin flip map or a quote unquote coin flip map as the final map if you're not the higher seed. Because if you get here, it means you're tied up or very close to tied up.
Balcony, the coin flip map. You hear that, Wodar? Coin flips, I tell you.
Yep. All right. Anyway, here we go.
Nanthelas on match point. Jyaty needs both of them. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Nanthelas is 1-1 on balcony, but that was last season. He hasn't played it this year.
Ah!
That's what you want to be doing right now, with all of bronze on the line.
All of bronze on the line. Let's play balcony for the first time this season.
Sure. Why not?
Banana bread.
Why not? Oh! Well.
Jyaty? What was that for?
Ladies and gentlemen, Bronze League!
Did he
It worked!
Did he suspect a bug at the start? Oh, possibly.
I mean, let's take a look. We might as well.
Possibly. Very possibly. That opening path was a bit wonky. No, but no way. That was some AI like bouncing like crazy.
Yeah, just a little too much. Boy, what a run there. Nanthelas starts off 4-0, drops 7 straight, and then wins on the silliest of balcony games.
Banana bread.
Imaginable. The Phantom Bug.
Okay, so who banana splits on balcony?
Right. Yeah, you're gonna get a low light on that. I mean,
or
look,
a shot on that.
I've done it. I'm not actually making fun here because the Phantom Bugs on balcony are a real thing, and in this case, that's the difference. Nanthelas hangs on. And let's talk a little bit about the general standings there. Nanthelas actually won copper last season, 16 points, 7-1-2. Advances to where Jyaty already was, bronze. Jyaty last season finished third. Not a close third, a few points back of Yish and Urand. But obviously, Yish and Urand, I think at that point, we all know now, based on how they've played since, that those are two excellent players who probably were a little underpromoted in bronze. So Jyaty just got stuck in a tough division with two very good players, finished third anyway. This year, makes it into the finals, but Nanthelas has just been rising too fast and now has won copper and bronze in successive seasons and is going to move up to silver.
Oh, hey, surprise, there's actually another game in this set. Do we want to cast it?
Sure. One more balcony game for fun. Let's go.
Yeah, one more.
Yep.
Nanthelas in the chat saying he's angry that the set ended there, so they gave us one more for the road. Jyaty on the spy, Nanthelas on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
What a luxury it must be to be angry at your division. The rest of us, I'm not proud. I'll take anything I can get.
Well, Jyaty starting things off with the green flirt at Windows for 51%. Oh, look at that seduction target. Thank you. And Jyaty, that flirt pairing actually gets Jyaty low lit. The contact comes off. Coin flips, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening in this map?
Yeah, decent chance this wouldn't have happened if the game didn't not matter. Double negatives are fine. Don't worry about it. The game doesn't count. The casting doesn't count. We can say whatever we want.
It's fine. Flirtation cooldown expired. Doesn't hit the 3 green game as awesome as it would have been. 85%, but we still got a minute left to play. Hard to see Jyaty getting shot here.
It is hard to see. It's also hard to imagine how it could matter.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
this one we should have.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we should have done 2x.
This one should have been 2 times speed, at least. Yeah, that would have been fair. No stakes.
Would have been old school.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait. We're gonna talk, and we're gonna win, quote unquote. But yeah,
8-8.
yeah.
There's nothing to scoff at.
Well, this one doesn't actually go into the history books, I'm afraid. It is 8-7, not an actual tie party. But the seed certainly came into play, because otherwise this game absolutely would have mattered.
Yeah.
And we have now cast, let me see here, 5 of these 7 finals. Because remember, Challenger does not have a typical final, so only 7 divisions play these kinds of finals. We've cast 5 of them so far, not Diamond or Iron yet, and Diamond will be last.
And what?
And
3 of them have been draws, right?
3 of them have been draws, and
Wow.
well, if you count this one
Yeah.
isn't technically a draw, even though it's listed that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so 2 of them were outright draws, which means the number 1 was the difference, and in this case, it very nearly was.
Yeah.
And in all 5 of those finals, more importantly, the first seed has won.
Yep. That is. Oh wow. Yeah. That is interesting.
That's very interesting. I mean, you could see some of these finals have been among players who were very close in the regular season, just a point or 2 here or there. So you really wouldn't be surprised. You wouldn't even really call it an upset most of the time for either finalist to win in most cases. But in this case, the favorites taking it home.
Good stuff.
All right, and with that, we are actually done.
We don't have a few more casual games.
No,
to
they
cast
didn't
here at
keep
the end?
playing, unfortunately.
Okay.
They just played more balcony.
Yeah, there's 20 more balcony games in my set. How about you guys? Yeah. Good grief. Played at 4 times speed.
Oh man.
All right. Anyway, that was excellent. Very great comeback from Nanthelas there.
Yeah, well, for a great comeback from both players in the same match. A great comeback from Jyaty, then a great comeback from Nanthelas, a comeback to the comeback.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often, and you can only see it in a finals, though, where the matches are a little longer.
Yeah,
It's the only time it's
that's
possible.
this is where you'd see that sort of nonsense where.
Yeah, the possibility. It's much more important to keep your cool and not tilt, because losing a couple games does not lose you the set in these matches.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that was it. That's it for SCL for this week. We got plenty more though. The Challenger tournament is still rolling along. However many more weeks that is. We got a few more finals to see, and then we got all the demotion and hazard matches and promotion matches. We got a lot more. And
We got a lot more.
we got Summer Cup going on as well.
Yeah, we're probably going to see that Mondays and Tuesdays, or maybe Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Don't quote me. It's varying from week to week. But early this week, we will have some more Summer Cup games for you, as you mentioned, Challenger matches. There have been some Hazard matches. We probably are going to try to cast some of those. And I think sometime next week, we will probably have an Iron Finals to cast. And I think the week after that, the big one, Crazy Kaylee versus Canadian Bacon for the championship of Season 4. It's close.
We're going to need to see that. Is that going to be live?
I haven't heard for sure, but yeah, come on, that's gonna be live. If I have any,
it's gotta be
saying it's gotta be live.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one match where we want it live, and then we want like an hour of Bacon and Kaylee coming on afterwards to analyze every match, every game in the match. That is the tradition.
Staying up late, I guess. I'll get the coffee going.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. This is Spy Party. You don't know that already. I think most of the people in here do, but anyway, if you want to get it, can you get it at spyparty.com currently?
Not yet. You have to get it on Steam for the moment. Yeah.
Yep. You can get it on Steam currently. It is usually available on spyparty.com. There's some behind the scenes server stuff going on right now, so you know. But hey, the game's still awesome. And also I've had some awesome casters here, Taboshi and Warning Track.
They never showed up, unfortunately. The whole night we were waiting for them.
Yeah, we got some awesome stand-ins at the very least.
Very good stand-ins. I think we did a great job for stand-ins.
Agreed. Even with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, you know, computers are hard.
Sometimes my computer decides that my microphone is in fact a speaker.
You know, that can happen. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a speaker but backwards. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Close enough.
Anyway, thank you all. I guess that's it for today. Well, I guess Summer Cup will be coming up next during the week.
Yes.
Till then,
Well-
goodbye, I guess.